Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Brynulf, and if you're watching this, then I guess I had the courage to actually upload this. I don't know what this channel will ever be. I'm actually just doing it because I think it's fun. And if anyone ever watches this, and who knows, maybe even enjoying it, then great, icing on the cake. Today I'll be playing Hearts of Iron 4, which, in case you missed it, takes place in World War II, or as I like to call it, the Great War Part 2, this time it's personal. I've mainly played as Germany so far, and well, to be honest, I felt it was getting a bit too easy. I mean, parts of it were challenging, but on a whole I didn't feel I got to use all the experience I built up by now. And that makes me sound like a pretentious jerk, but I'm not saying I'm an expert, I'm just saying I feel it's time to up the challenge a bit. So I've got two achievements in mind. First one is Northern Lights, and the second one is New World Order. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Northern Lights one is to play as a Scandinavian country and, you know, forcefully befriend all of Scandinavia and, you know, incorporate them all under one flag. The New World Order one is more of a stamina thing. It's making sure that every country in the world is fascist. And there are a few stumbling blocks that can make that impossible. Mainly if you have non-fascist puppets in your faction. So if we ever create our own faction, we need to make sure that we don't puppet anyone who's not fascist. I mean, there are a few workarounds, but, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But, I mean, hopefully it won't be a problem. Anyway, we're gonna start in 1936, because, you know, we need as much time as possible to build up and like that. And we're not gonna go with any big countries, because none of them are Scandinavian, of course. And I've been looking at it, and they're fairly similar, all of them, with some small differences. Sweden, you could say, is arguably the strongest one. They have more factories, they've got some good navy, you know, comparatively. And they have some airplanes, and they have tanks research. They don't have any tank templates in the division manager, but they do have them researched as opposed to the other ones. But they have this neutral foreign policy, which I assume you can get rid of, but it's a stumbling block, and plus I'm Swedish, so it feels a bit boring to play as Sweden. For the other ones, Norway and Denmark are pretty similar. Neither of them have any special benefits, and they have the problem of being part of Germany's focus tree. So they are gonna go to war with Germany sooner or later, most likely, because they automatically get the focus tactics. Then there's Finland, which is arguably the weakest one to begin with, because I think they have the fewest factories, and oh, by the way, pretty much all of these have zero manpower to begin with, effectively, so that's something to think about. What Finland does have that's really good is Sisu. I don't know Finnish, so I'm not gonna try to pronounce it, but it's an awesome buff. You get division recovery rate plus 25%. That's amazing. Less attrition. I mean, if that's just flat bonus, that's awesome. division attack on core territory, and defense. We work better within our own borders. Hopefully it won't come to that, but considering our weak beginning, it's a great buff to have. Now I'm gonna go Iron Man. You'll might notice in game that I do have a few graphical mods installed, and it won't interfere with Iron Man mode because it's only graphic. It doesn't change the actual gameplay. It doesn't make it look any prettier either. What I have is I got the historical flags, which changes flags to be more accurate. The most noticeable one is that Germany gets the swastika, which, I mean, sorry if it's offensive, but that's what it was. The other ones I have is clearer buttons, which color codes them to make it more easy to keep track of what's what. I got clearer selection, which is in drop-down menus when you select divisions, to clearly show which one you actually have selected. And the last one I have is more division icons, which gives you a greater sample of what icons you can have for your divisions. Anyway, let's jump in, and I'm sorry if there's a lot of talking and very little action this first episode. That's, you know, I want to set it up properly and make sure that there's no confusion, which there probably will be anyway on some point or something. But if you have any question, just drop them in the comments and I'll answer. Anyway, Winter Warriors seems like a fitting name for Finland. What have I? Why do I not have any UI? Hi guys, sorry about that. I have no idea why, but I had 0 UI, and I don't know if it bugged out completely or if I pressed something to freeze everything. Never mind, we're in the actual game now, and let's take a look at what we have to do. First, national focus is the generic one that's the same for every non-special country. And, well, I mean, we got 2 extra research slots down here that's just too good to not go for immediately, so that's what I'm gonna do. So we start off with the industrial effort, then we're gonna go down this path, and then we'll see, depending on how much things are heating up. Armament effort is kinda nice to get some extra factories going. As is, you know, construction effort to build a bit more. If we're going to war, army effort is nice. Naval effort is probably pretty long down the line, considering we start with pretty much 0 navy, and, you know, it's gonna take a long time before we have any navy at all to speak of. Aviation, we start nothing, but at some point we're gonna start building it up because it's kinda important. Political efforts we're also probably gonna wanna go into, because we start off as, I'm gonna show you here, politically we're non-aligned, and we probably want to go fascist, or I want to go fascist, because that's fun. Take it all over, and we're natural enemies with the Soviets. They want to take our land and we want to stop them. So teaming up with the fascists is probably a good idea. And if we want to conquer a lot of stuff, starting with Scandinavia, but you know, the sky's the limit, it's a good way to go. We could, you know, join up with the Soviets, but nah, I don't trust them. I feel they're gonna try to invade me. And the good thing about the fascists that I don't think any of them have any focus ideas that that you know forces them into Finland. And that's a big thing about the AI. I don't have historical AI on, which sort of forces countries to follow their historical path in the national. What is the name? Is it national focus tree? But still, I mean, they're still in the tree. They're just following a different roadmap than they did historically. So sooner or later, they're gonna do most of it. Except this, some of them are mutually exclusive, of course. And that's what we're trying to avoid, those things that are gonna happen. I mean, Germany are gonna build up the Rhineland. They are going to war with the Allies sooner or later. They are gonna try to get Czechoslovakia, Austria, Yugoslavia, Poland, and so on. So we need to be aware of that. Anyway, that's a very detailed version of that. So yeah, industrial effort. It's also gonna give us a 50% bonus for industry, and industry is always awesome. So let's go to research. We only start with 3 slots, but we're going for 2 more. Germany, as I played a lot with before, start with 4, which is great, but we'll get to 5 soon anyway. So basic machinery, must have. Same thing, construction, must have. Synthetic oil experiments. This branch as a whole, I pretty much never go to the advanced stuff because it's not needed. I might want level 1, that's what I'm thinking about. It does take a long time to research it, which I don't like. I tend to go for this one. I mean, minus 2% is nothing, but it does accumulate over time, and that's what makes it great. So I'm gonna go for it now. And when it comes to oil and rubber, it might be better just to buy it. The problem comes when you have too many enemies and you just can't get it from anywhere. Because there are a few places where you can get it from. I mean, Iran, Iraq, and Caucasus, that's where a lot of it is. So if you can't get it from, say, Soviet Union, I mean, we share a border, so we're gonna be, before we're at war with them, at least, we can just buy it from them, and it doesn't have to go any distance at all. So there's no way, no convoys to intercept, which we have almost none of anyway. But if we are at war with them, then we're kind of screwed, because, you know, we'd have to ship it from the States if they don't hate us, or from Venezuela, I think, have a bet of it. And, you know, it travels across the Atlantic where it's very easy to intercept, and our navy is going to be pretty much non-existent for a long time. I mean, eventually we want to try to get some up. So we have 4 factories that's actually gonna do something. And for if you don't know, civilian factories are what builds everything else. So for at least the first year, we just wanna make sure we're building that. Full focus on civilian factories, and then we'll go over to military, because as you see, we don't have a lot of military. We have 3 of them. So, you know, I'm gonna put 2 of them making infantry equipment and 1 on sport equipment, and then we have nothing more. And that's, I mean, it's not not looking good. But that can improve. We have one dockyard, and I'm gonna make it produce convoys, because we need convoys. You're gonna put it on infantry, it's something you pretty much always need. Unless you start as Britain. I think they start with like 800 or something, which is just insane. I have insufficient resources, but I'm not gonna fix that. We'll just have to power through. For now, it's gonna slow down our production of military equipment, but it's not worth it. We'd for each one of these things to get one, we'd have to sacrifice one civilian factory, and it's no. I mean, for these 3 things we have to sacrifice 3 civilian factories, if I understand the system correctly. Then we're down to 1 civilian factory actually producing the new civilian factories. And no, just no. So we're low on manpower. We have 115 people. Despite and badly, I'm just putting it out there. We do have some military, and I looked this over. We do have some nice. Yeah, we're really good in winter, believe it or not. And he's a ranger. I'm gonna show you quickly the other guy. He's 1 level lower and has commando instead of the ranger thing. So he's great when we're out of supplies, but I don't think our first war is it's gonna come into effect. I mean, we don't have enough troops to run out of supplies, and we don't have any supplies to send to them anyway, so supply lines aren't gonna be a problem. I wonder if that applies to, you know, not having the supplies at all. That could actually be really good. I'm unsure. Let's try. Let's just go for it. Let's see, theaters, yeah, doesn't have to care about for now. I don't have to rename them. I'm gonna take a quick look at the different templates, because I mean, I don't want to call it that because I have no idea what that means. Just gonna infantry rename. We're gonna have to change this further on because coming with 12 is not okay, and I generally want to build up a lot of support, but I mean, we don't have the equipment for it anyway, so, or the experience. These are just worse infantry. I don't really see the point of them, so I'm probably just gonna convert them and then maybe delete the template. I'm not sure. Might just keep it around just for, you know, backup. Sometimes it's good to have a different one, so it's easy to switch over, but I don't see that that one would be cheaper. Cavalry. I mean, I'm gonna keep the template because, you know, why not? It's cavalry. For those who don't know, is just for suppression. It's maybe early combat somewhat. It does. I think it gives a bit of breakthrough, but long run they're not good at all. But for now, I'm not actually gonna convert them. I'm gonna keep them because, you know, I'm actually gonna go for an early war, and if it's possible, I want every advantage I can get. I think we're gonna dismiss this one to get the manpower back, and, you know, every bit counts. Now, for the first actual war, my thought is going for Sweden. The Swedes, we have a bit of history. They deserve some payback, and we're gonna give it to them. Problem is, I'm not gonna do two things at once because obviously I'm incapable of doing that. The problem is they have more of everything. They have more factories, they have a navy, they have air, but I have something they don't have. I have a man in charge who has zero military experience, whereas they have a computer that does everything according to logic. And I think that gives me a great advantage, in practice. It doesn't sound like it, but that's what I've seen. I'm not super careful when doing it. I'm just, getting some kind of plan to move through. And I'm gonna check quickly how... Ooh, I need to be fascist. Oh, I haven't thought this through at all. I'm too used to being fascist. I can't do an early war against them. I have to wait. And then they might be guaranteed. This could be interesting. Anyway, let's unpause and... You know what? Fuck it. YOLO. Let's see what happens. Here's our massive fleet. 2 ships and 4 submarines. I have 0 cards. Doesn't cost anything to get one, so yeah. I mean, the ships are not gonna do anything, but the submarines could maybe, stop someone from getting supplies. I'm just gonna keep them around here for now. Maybe they'll give me a bit of intelligence. It's an area I feel lacking in at sometimes. So yeah, let's keep them around there. And the fleet's just gonna stay there for now. I'll eventually try to build it up a bit. And I'm pretty sure I have 0 planes. Yeah, we don't have any planes. We are improving when it comes to infantry equipment. We're so far behind. Oh, we're so low. And support equipment as well. I mean, they're pretty much all at 27% strength, I think. I think you get the equipment back if you disband them. So yeah, now the others are at 33. How are we on manpower? We're using all of it. I'm trying to see if I can see our deficit when it comes to manpower. I don't spot it immediately. I mean, I can see our total manpower we're using, but I don't know how much is accessible. Let's see, monthly growth. 2.5 out of 3.67 million. Math isn't my strong suit, and I don't want it to be. Keep it away from me. I know it's good, I know it works, but, you know, let's just go our separate ways. Political power is slowly ticking up. I'm thinking the first thing we do might be to get a fascist demagogue, to get our fascism up, and it gets the event fascism on the rise. I'm not sure what that does. If it can maybe flip us fascist, and then we can go for Sweden. If we're gonna go for Sweden, I want to do it before we reach 25% world tension, because that's when the allies start to guarantee people, and you know, we don't want to go as Finland alone against the you know, combined might of the allies. That was the Rhineland. We got military efforts, industrial efforts, not military construction. I mean, I really want to go down here. We could, you know, go for nationalism. Let's see, we use non-land. It gets more toward fascism, but we'd be so far behind technologically that I don't feel comfortable doing it. No, sticking with construction. Yeah, just my perfect example of Germany being Germany, whether they're historical Germany or, you know, kinda historically Germany. The further in we get, the more things are gonna change from through history, of course. War in Ethiopia is, you know, going. If it was a player doing it, it would probably be over pretty soon, but sometimes the AI can really take some time to get there. War's gonna break out in Spain, and if I'm not at war, I'm probably gonna send some troops. But I mean, I don't have any tanks, I don't have any too awesome technology when it comes to just about anything, so we'll see if we can actually influence it in any way. I mean, we'll try. Sometimes it depends on what other nations send volunteers and in what way, you know, what type of troops and what they do with them. Last time I played as Germany, Soviets sent a bunch of tanks. I mean, I was caught up invading Sweden. I mean, I don't know, for some reason I really love invading Sweden. And anyway, once it was, you know, closing in on the end, the nationalists, they pretty much held, is it Galicia here, and maybe a bit more over here, and I did my best, but it was just too late, and the Soviets had just completely dominated, even though I mean, they had many troops considering they were volunteers, but I mean, it weren't a lot. It was just the Spanish couldn't do anything to stop them. They just ran over it all, and yeah, I came in to help after I beat Sweden. It was too little, too late. And we're moving forward. I actually think I'm gonna end this episode here so it doesn't become too long. But thanks for watching, and I know it was a slow episode with a lot of talking, but I just want to make sure I set it up properly and explain what I'm doing. Because that's something I strive for. I don't want you to be only entertained. Only it's nothing wrong with being entertained, but I like people who play the game to be able to learn something, to understand why I do things the way I do, and maybe someone watching this can teach me something. If so, if I'm missing something obvious, leave it in the comments. And yeah, thanks for watching, and hope you liked it.